Now to our ongoing investigative series, HOA Nightmares. Tonight, we're hearing from a former Homeowners Association board member who explains what it's like on the other side of the fines, fees, and liens.
Atlanta News First investigator Anastasia Olmos here now. Now, Anastasia, you've done several stories with Georgia homeowners fighting with their HOAs just to keep their homes.
That's right. Last month, in fact, I introduced you to a man, 77-year-old from Kennesaw, whose HOA filed a foreclosure document on his home for unpaid fines that included not pressure washing it. Now, a woman who used to be on the board in his community sat down with me to give us the other side of these HOA nightmares.
I would never take someone's home away and make someone homeless. Never, ever, ever, never.
Jan Keene is speaking up for those who volunteer to help run their community associations.
It was a very difficult period. It really was.
While working as a travel nurse, Jan served as the HOA president, secretary, and board member at large in the Cedar Lake Townhome subdivision in Kennesaw when it was first built in the early 2000s.
Because of the strict rules of the TOA, the property values have increased by 86%.
She says the HOAs abusing their power are giving the rest a bad rap.
All these Facebook posts for Karens and Darrens and HOA presidents harassing people. Gosh, people, get a life.
You may recognize this pond from a previous Atlanta News First investigation.
The scene of the crime is this north-facing side of my house.
77-year-old George Watson is facing a foreclosure filing on his home from the current HOA board after violation notices went unopened in his mailbox for months. Fines for not pressure washing his home and leaving a bucket of water and a ladder on the side of his house quickly grew to thousands of dollars in past due fees.
It very possibly means that I'll lose the house.
When we went to ask the current HOA president about George's case, she told us,
"You will need to call our property management company, or our attorneys."
The management company, Tolly Community Management, told us in part someone choosing not to read their mail is not an association issue. The covenants for the neighborhood state that the notice shall be sent by U.S. mail. The attorneys did not respond. Jan has nothing to do with the current fines or foreclosure filing, but says
no one is a victim who's educated.
And by educated, she means homeowners should do their research before buying a home.
You need to ask for the last quarter's financials to see if your community is in good standing. Ask for the debt ratio, how many people in the community are not paying their dues, because that is a sign of a very sick community.
In Georgia, sellers and realtors are not legally required to tell a buyer there's an HOA. Real estate attorney Randy Williams suggests checking the community name in court records for any HOA rules you'll have to follow.
You better read the governing documents before you decide to purchase in that community, because you're going to be bound by those documents.
In Cedar Lake, water utilities are included in homeowners' HOA dues. Jan says they never garnished bank accounts or filed foreclosures when she was on the board, but instead they shut off a home's water if the homeowners weren't paying for their share.
There's always a way. Foreclosing on someone's home, I cannot in my heart see that happening.
What can the state of Georgia do to change that?
Legislate clearer. Yeah, as you have mentioned, with the Georgia laws, maybe an ombudsman program of some sort, where people can go to voice concerns.
As she mentioned, an ombudsman essentially is an oversight office, but that's not exactly what state lawmakers are currently discussing. The Senate Rules Committee is looking at a specific bill that would require HOAs to register with the Secretary of State's office for oversight, raise an HOA's ability to file for foreclosure on a home from $2,000 to $4,000 in unpaid dues, not including fines or late fees. Last, it would add HOA dues to escrow, so dues would be paid with the mortgage to a bank. Now, the Senate committee has another hearing on this bill this Tuesday, October 21st. We will be there and share any updates on air and online at AtlantaNewsFirst.com. I'm Anastasia Olmos. Atlanta News First investigates.